also been an active member of Head Start Network Foundation for the past 6 years and has led women entrepreneurship initiatives across 15 cities in India. Currently involved in developing the startup ecosystem of Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities in India by serving as a core team board member at Head Start Network Foundation and is responsible for heading national partnerships. Moreover, she's embarked on a mission to make 1 lakh people employable by year 2022. So please welcome on stage Smedha Sarkar.
Good evening, everyone. So my topic today is breaking stereotypes. So I'll break the stereotype by starting my presentation saying thank you. Because honestly, I genuinely thank all of you. I feel so privileged that I am amongst this bunch of people, this audience, that is prioritized this conversation that and evangelizing women empowerment in so many various sectors. And you guys have prioritized this to come down to this forum, attend this, and come and collaborate and share your ideas, despite having your personal and professional commitments, which everyone does. So honestly, I'm privileged and humbled that I am in front of all of you talking to you. So thank you. That's where I begin. So taking forward, I would want to understand that what made this crowd different? What made this audience different? What made us different versus other people? I think, yeah? Yeah, and anything else? Effort, yeah. I believe, it's what I think, it's because we all are educated. We understand that it's not a singular person's responsibility. We feel that it's all of us duty to make a little bit of change and there are two people required for an exchange to happen, for a culture to be imbibed. That is the purpose of education. So, which again then, I would say that what makes an educated human being? What makes an educated human being? So there's an interesting story around this. When I was founding my startup, Eduman Training Services, as you heard, at that time I was going through a survey of what makes an educated human being. We asked, what is the purpose of education? We asked a lot of people. Some of them said that it's for knowledge. So maybe they wanted to become Buddhas. And some of them said, oh, we want a high-paid job, and that's why we want to be driven. That's why we are getting educated. Then some few people said, like, I kid you not. Few people just said that दहेज में ज़्यादा मिल जाएगा यार. Yeah? And some girls said, अरे यार अच्छे qualified खानदान में शादी होगी मेरी. Those were the reasons of why they wanted to become educated, which shook me to the core, and me and my co-founder, who I right now do not see right now, I do see him in the room, who was opening doors for all of you, Bikash Shah. We started thinking that, hey, we started penning down, what is the reason why education is even required? And this is what we came up with, that a degree, or any degree, 10th pass, 12th pass, graduate, postgraduate, just makes a human being literate. Yeah? What makes a genuine human being educated is their ability to empathize with another person as a human being first. And that is what we thought was supposed to be, or at least that's the bare minimum requirement of why we should want people to get educated. And that is where we started writing our whys of our startup and figuring out. And, hence we had that one part covered. But given that we did all of these surveys, we understood education was not just about what it does internally, but it is also about what it does externally. You know, education for a lot of people, it is also about social standing, about what people view you as. You know, I am an MBA, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor. So we understood in our social construct or in our society, education is also for recognition. It is also for respect. Hence the word Samman, right? Hence we combined and coined this word together and thought, why don't we come up with EduMan? So EDU is for the education which makes empathy and recognition, where we work for skilling for employability. Now, after defining what we wanted to do in the education space, we knew that there was a pain. We knew that there was lack of understanding that in this education space, this has to be first solved. We were like, how do we go about it? Then we went to figure out what is the form of, like how to imbibe any culture, we begin it from some place, right? So we wanted to figure out that what are the places. So we went ahead, asked questions, where does education happen? And the very obvious question was, education begins from schools. So we were like, yeah, right. Schools is one part of, yeah. Right, right. So, but we received answers like, it begins from schools. So we said, yeah, right. So that's a formal part of education. There are already CBSE, ICSE, state board, so many people doing like just formal education where, oh. Right, exactly, exactly. Thank you so much. Let's hear an applause for that thing. Yeah. So, but this is a thing of like 4 years back, where we were asking this question, and it was like, school से ही पढ़ते हैं और कहाँ से पढ़ते हैं यार? वहीं से पढ़ाई शुरू होती है. So then we said that okay, but that's a formal segment, and what about the people who cannot afford school? So then there was an entire segment of informal education, which right now we call, there are multiple initiatives under Skill India project, which is, there are vocational institutes, there are ITIs, there are apprenticeship programs, learning while doing. Hence we started dabbling our interests into working with the Government of India's Skill India's initiative. And that is when our journey became, we figured out an MVP, and we were like, okay, so this is doable, and we can maybe support people who can get a well-paid job. But while we were correcting where the education comes from, we also got hit by that segment of conversation that you said. There is a third segment that impacts education. Because education merely is about your awareness about the society. So what gives us most awareness? A person's personality is defined by the people we are surrounded with, the family we are from, the parents that we are having, the neighborhood we have, the peers we have, the people we work with. That is where we begin. This is the segment that I'm talking about. Sanskar, yes, that heavy word, because some laughs I heard. Yes, this is the word that is told like this is another segment of education that should define you. You should stand like this, you should sit like this, you should walk like that. So this is another industry of an organization of education already that is coming. Who are the feeders to this? The neighbors, your friends, circles, peers, everybody, relatives. Oh yeah, relatives. So this is another institute that runs parallelly. Now, that is when we figured that, see, on the first two segments of the education type that I spoke about, formal and informal, even though we have not achieved like and attained like best form of, how to evaluate and measure them, we have figured एक practical exam होता है, एक theory exam होता है, और उसके basis पे whatever is the person's competence, the person can be given a rate card or can be placed and all of that. Unfortunately, for this third segment called Sanskar, there is no fixed way of what is right versus what is wrong. It is subjective. What is right for you might not be for me, might not be for another person. And hence, how do we measure? How do we measure that, oh, on this sanskar, this person is 10 and this person is 6? Hence, there are chances and higher level of fear that I personally feel is of judgment. And there are prejudices. because there are no fixed defined parameters around what is a sanskari beta or what is a sanskari beti. So these judgments and prejudices, I have been told to share a couple of my life instances. So I'll just highlight that. That at 10, when I wanted to become team captains and I wanted to be like, yes, let's do, and all of these things, I was told, hey, you don't have to be so bossy. At 15, when I wanted to participate in debate allocation competitions, I was figuring out, hey, girls, why don't you join? They're like, no, girls can't be this hot, opinionated and argumentative all the time. Again, then at 20, when I said that, university exams, let's sit, prepare, all of these things, they said, no, I'm having to go home. I'm like, why? Well, I have to get married. I said, why? Well, because, if I study, then I'll be over-educated, and the groom might feel insecure. And even if my groom, and then I have had examples where, no, my husband is completely in my support, but the in-laws might feel insecure. So these were certain things. Oh, I also had this incident that there was this client, we were having a deal. And we said that, I was saying that, okay, there was a proposal, he was supposed to find everything. He had rounds of meetings and everything. Like, this is that shark sort of conversation, like where they cut you. But then anyway, after everything, when he could not say anything about my presentation and was like, it is completely sold, I was able to show him 1 + 1 आपको 11 रुपए करके मिल रहा है. Then he's like, आप औरतों का क्या है, आप तो 1-2 साल में शादी कर ही लेंगे, फिर ये आपकी हॉबी बन जाएगी, पैसा तो हमारा लगा हुआ है. And the reason why I say all of these incidents, because not just me, I know every one of you at some point in your life has heard something similar. The judgment and prejudices, again though, I would not say is only about around women. It's also around men. I'm here to, because I'm the last person to speak, so I'll speak with, and I am so much joyous that there are so many men who came around to just cheer for me. So I'll just say what happens to them. Men are subjected saying you can't be emotional. बचपन से तुम लड़का यार, तुम रो कैसे सकते हो? Yeah? They can't be vulnerable. They can't do that. They have to become the providers. They have to become the bread earners. There are prejudices if a guy is sitting at home and working on his startup, and he knows there's a work from home concept for everyone, right? It's okay for women because we do it as a hobby, right? Because we don't have ambitions. But guys, if they're doing it off home, then it's like, घर पे बैठा हुआ है. कुछ जॉब ढूंढो यार, शादी वादी करने के बाद बीवी का खा रहे हो. अरे बच्चे हो गए तुम्हारे, what are you doing? You have no ambition in your life. Oh, I also had neighbors when I was hustling hard, like 22 around, I was an entrepreneur, I became an entrepreneur, I knew all of these things. And then there were neighbors who were like, I had irrational schedules, erratic schedules, obviously. So then they were like, ऐसा क्या काम करती हो जो रात के 10 बजे तक बाहर रहना पड़ता है? And then there were questions like, अब भी ऑफिस जा रही हो? 12 बज रहा है ना? And then after 24, when I saw a little bit of success and recognition, थोड़े बहुत newspapers में आने लगे, तब तो शर्म आ गई उनको. हाँ हमारी बच्ची from building she has done something. So now बोले अब तो सब ठीक हो गया बेटा, अब settle हो जाओ, शादी कर लो. I was like, okay, so it's being settled is, and there was this uncle, I tell you, this uncle had the spine of asking me this question, बेटा वो सब नाम वाम तो ठीक है, कमा कितना लेते हो? मतलब ऐसे ही प्रचार के लिए है कि कुछ कमा भी रहे हो? I mean like, and this is just with the women, men के साथ तो I'm sorry guys, you don't even have that option, so that's what our prejudices and judgment is about. I'll tell you what brought me here on this stage and what made me who I am. If world is that a bad place, then how am I here? I'm here because of this. I'm here because I had a great community and a great support system. And my support system started from my family, my parents. When I was a child, the culture inside me was ingrained by my father कि fuse खराब हो गया तो क्या हुआ? You are a daughter, that does not mean that you will not get your hands dirty. Come, clean the car with me, you know, because आज वो cleaner नहीं आया है. You know, you have to go out, get stuff for home. क्यों कोई लड़का ही लाएगा क्या? तुम क्यों नहीं सीखोगी ये सब चीज़ें? At that point I was like that, बापू तू तो सेहत के लिए हानिकारक है. But then later I realized that these small little things that he did to push me were real helpful to me, because now like आके तो बात करके दिखाए, क्योंकि हमको तो सब करने आता है. कुछ नहीं भी आता है तो फिर हम करने से डरते नहीं है. That was the attitude. I'll tell you what difference my mother made. That is another big concern area that a lot of women make constraints on women. They say, अरे अब तक तो तुम्हारी शादी हो जानी चाहिए, अब तक तो तुम्हारा बच्चा हो जाना चाहिए. We have a biological clock ticking, you know, and then they will post all selfies and Insta and be like, when are you giving us good news like this? So anyway, so my mother said, come, I'll teach you. The first day she was trying to teach me, because she was pregnant and I was going to have a little brother at that point, so I didn't know, but I was like, okay, I have to start now helping in kitchen. So she said, see, you're not coming to the kitchen because you have to cook for someone else someday. You're coming to the kitchen because I know someday you will be independent and you will be able to fend for yourself. And that day, despite being a housewife, despite being a pregnant woman, she ingrained this thought in my brain that yes, this is what a woman should be. If I learn things for myself. I learn things because I have to be comfortable with myself, not because I have to justify it to some XYZ. When I was in school, thankfully I am amongst the privileged ones, you know, that when I was in school, my school did not treat me separately because I was a girl, because I was talented or I was not talented, or you know, my PT teachers used to scold me, or my teachers used to say, no, you have to do this better. There was no physical, different punishments for males and females. We all used to kneel down, so they did not treat me differently. Now, given currently I have a team which is like, you might feel that there are no women, but that's not the truth. Some of them are already working, someone has to work. So more than 90% of my team, the volunteers, the employees, the people that I work with, never look up to me and say, hey, you're so stubborn and why are you being so bossy? They give me that acceptance that we understand that there are conflict situations, there are crises, and you have to take them. You have to be the one with greater spine. You have to be the one making difficult decisions. And if not for that supportive community, which has been hustling since morning as well and opening doors for you, I would not be here. That is what, yeah. So it's applause for them. Since I am talking of community, I'll also highlight another point, which is about Head Start, which I was just speaking in a brief thing, that Head Start is a community for budding entrepreneurs. And there we have a lot of people coming up with their ideas and, to make something of themselves someday. It's across 23 cities in India, and it's a not-for-profit organization. And we also have, I have had the fortune of leading Women Entrepreneurship Initiative under that. And seeing you all, trust me, I'm like speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3, speaker 4. So it's such a beautiful environment here. I'll talk about it at length, but yeah, the community and support system. There was something profound that I was hearing, because he keeps saying this, he for she, he for she. So I was like Googling and I figured out Emma Watson's speech. You know, in that she was saying that if men don't have to be controlling, the women don't have to be controlled. If men don't have to be the providers, the women do not have to be supported. If men don't have to be aggressive, the women do not have to be submissive. And if it is okay for a man to be vulnerable and a man to be emotional, then someday, women would not be considered as overreacting people. So that's the community, or that's the message that we want, at least I believe, that you all share and exchange with me. Hence, I would like to humbly invite all of you to join and talk about this more and evangelize this more. And the men especially, thank you so much that you guys are here. You're building funds for just women founders, which is amazing. There are people, organizers like Talis, who's running around who are highlighting women champions like you all, it's because, you know, I don't know what changed in me, and a lot of people keep asking, what, you're 20-something entrepreneur, and you're like, what you're speaking? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know. All I know is I care for this cause. And I know you care too. Hence, I feel that it has to be, we don't say it enough, we don't empower and applaud each other enough, and I would like to do that. So one applause for all of you, please.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to India's first corporate news channel. We invite interviews, articles, press releases from your organization. Visit our portal www.indianconventions.com. Thank you.